Hello students, myself Amrita Dhar, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, JIS Group. Now, I will teach you switchgear and protection. In this video, I will discuss about arcing phenomena in circuit breaker. This topic is included in Module 2 of the subject switchgear and protection. What is arc? When the contacts of the circuit breaker are separated, there is a luminous electric discharge between two contacts of the circuit breaker, is known as arc. Now, when a short circuit occurs, a heavy current flows through the contacts of the circuit breaker. Therefore, they are opened by the protective system. At the instant when the contacts begin to separate, the contact area decreases rapidly and large fault current causes increased current density and hence rise in the temperature. Now, the heat produced in the medium between two contacts is sufficient to ionize the air or vaporize and ionize the oil. Okay. The ionized air or vapor acts as a conductor and an arc is struck between them. Now the arc provides a low resistance path and consequently the current in the circuit remains uninterrupted so long as the arc persists. So the function of the circuit breaker is to break the circuit, and by this the faulty section is disconnected from the healthy one. But if arc is sustained, then current in the circuit breaker remains uninterrupted. So the purpose of the circuit breaker is not solved. So we have to extinguish this arc. Now you can see a practical example of arcing phenomena in circuit breaker. Now when contacts are separated, an arc is formed between the contacts of the circuit breaker. Very dangerous and it causes severe damage to the system. So we have to extinguish the arc as early as possible. Next one, factors affects arc resistance. Now during the arcing period, the current flowing between the contacts depend upon this arc resistance. The greater the arc resistance, the smaller current that flows between the contacts, and the arc resistance depends on this factor. First factor is degree of ionization, then length of the arc and cross section of the arc. Now first, degree of ionization. The arc resistance increases with decrease in the number of ionized particles between the contacts. So if we decrease the amount of ionization between two contacts, then arc will extinguish. Next one, length of the arc. The arc resistance increases with length of the arc, that is separation of the contact. So if the length is increased, then the arc will extinguish. Next one, cross section of arc. The arc resistance increases with decrease in the cross section area of the arc. So if somehow we increase the cross section area of the arc, then arc will extinguish. Now before discussing the method of arc extinction, it is necessary to examine the factors responsible for the maintenance of the arc between contacts. And these are potential difference between the contacts and ionized particles between the contacts. Now in the first case, when the contacts have a small separation, the potential difference between them is sufficient to maintain the arc. Now, one way to extinguish the arc is to separate the contacts to such a distance that potential difference become inadequate to maintain the arc. However, this method is impracticable in high voltage system where a separation of many meters may be required. In the second case, the ionized particles between the contacts tend to maintain the arc. If the arc path is deionized, the arc extinction will be facilitated. Now, this may be achieved by cooling the arc or by bodily removing the ionized particles from the space between the contacts. Next one, methods of arc extinction. Now, there are two methods of extinguishing the arc in the circuit breaker. First one is the high resistance method and second one is the low resistance method. So, first we discuss about high resistance method. Now, in this method, arc is made to increase with time so that current is reduced to a value insufficient to maintain the arc. Consequently, the current is interrupted or the arc is extinguished. Now, the principal disadvantage of this method is that enormous energy is dissipated in the arc. So, therefore, it is employed only in DC circuit breakers and low capacity AC circuit breakers. Now there are four methods to extinguish the arc. First one is lengthening the arc, second cooling the arc, third reducing cross section of arc, and fourth one is the splitting the arc. Now, first is lengthening the arc. The resistance of the arc is, now in the first case, lengthening the arc, the resistance of the arc is directly proportional to its length. The length of the arc can be increased by increasing the gap between contacts. Next method is, next high resistance method is cooling the arc. Now, cooling helps in the deionization of the medium between the contacts and this increases the arc resistance, and efficient cooling may be obtained by a gas blast directed along the arc. Third method is reducing cross section of arc. Now, if the area of the cross section is reduced, the voltage necessary to maintain the arc is increased. In other words, we can say that the resistance of the arc path is increased. Now, the cross section of the arc can be reduced by letting the arc pass through a narrow opening or by having a smaller area of the contacts. And the fourth procedure is splitting the arc. Now, resistance of the arc can be increased by splitting the arc into a number of smaller arcs in series. Now, each of these arcs experiences the effect of lengthening and cooling. The arc may be split by introducing some conducting plates between the contacts. Now, so these are the four high resistance method to extinguish the arc. Next, I will discuss about low resistance method. In this case also, there are four types of low resistance method by which we can extinguish the arc. So, what is low resistance method? Now, it is also called as current zero method. Now, this method is employed for arc extinction in AC circuits only. Now, in this method, arc resistance is kept low until current is zero. Now, where the arc extinguishes naturally and is prevented from restriking in spite of the rising voltage across the contacts. Now, what is restriking voltage and what is rising voltage, I will explain later. Now, all modern high-power AC circuit breaker employed this method of the arc extinction. Now, you all know that in an AC system, current drops to zero after every half cycle. Now, at every current zero, the arc extinguishes for a brief moment. Now, the medium between the contacts contains ions and electrons, so that it has small dielectric strength and can easily be broken down by rising contact voltage. If such a breakdown occurs, the arc will persist for another half cycle. Now, if immediately after current zero, the dielectric strength of the medium between contacts is built up more rapidly than the voltage across the contacts, the arc fails to restrike, and the current will be interrupted. The rapid increase of dielectric strength of the medium near current zero can be achieved by first causing the ionized particle in the space between the contacts to recombine into neutral molecules, and in the second method sweeping the ionized particles away and replacing them by the unionized particles. Therefore, the real problem in AC arc interruption is to rapidly deionize the medium between contacts as soon as current becomes zero, so that the rising contact voltage cannot break down the space between the contacts. Now, deionization of the medium can be achieved by lengthening the gap, high pressure, cooling,
Blast effect.
First, lengthening the gap. Now, the dielectric strength of the medium is proportional to the length of the gap between contacts. Therefore, by opening the contacts rapidly, high dielectric strength of the medium can be achieved. In the second method, high pressure method, if the pressure in a vicinity of the arc is increased, the density of particles continuing the discharge also increases. Now, the increased density of particles causes higher rate of deionization, and consequently the dielectric strength of the medium between contacts is increased. In the third method, cooling, natural combination of ionized particles takes place more rapidly if they are all allowed to cool. Therefore, dielectric strength of the medium between the contacts can be increased by cooling the arc. The fourth method is blast effect. Now, if the ionized particles between the contacts are swept away and replaced by unionized particles, the dielectric strength of the medium can be increased considerably. Now, this may be achieved by a gas blast directed along the discharge or by forcing oil into the contacts. Next one is the arc voltage. Now, it is the voltage that appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker during the arcing period. I repeat, what is arc voltage? It is the voltage that appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker during the arcing period. Now, as soon as contacts of the circuit breaker separate, an arc is formed. The voltage that appears across the contacts during arcing period is called the arc voltage. Now, its value is low except for the period the fault current is at or near zero current point. At current zero, the arc voltage rises rapidly to peak value, and this peak voltage tends to maintain the arc flow in the form of arc. Next one is the restriking voltage. Now, It is the transient voltage that appears across the contacts at or near current zero during the arcing period. I repeat, it is the transient voltage that appears across the contacts at or near current zero during the arcing period. This is the waveform of the system voltage and this is the waveform of the current. Now at current zero, at this point current is 0. So in this instant, a high frequency transient voltage appears across the contacts and it is caused by rapid distribution of energy between the magnetic and electric field associated with the plant and transmission lines of system. Now this voltage is known as restriking voltage. Now the current interruption in the circuit depends upon the voltage. If the restriking voltage rises more rapidly than the dielectric strength of the medium between contacts, then arc will persist for another half cycle. On the other hand, if the dielectric strength of the medium builds up more rapidly than the restriking voltage, the arc fails to restrike and current will be interrupted. So at this instant where current is 0, if the restriking voltage is higher than dielectric strength, then arc is persist, and if dielectric strength is higher than restriking voltage, then arc will extinguish. So we have to make dielectric strength higher than restriking voltage at current 0 instant. Next one is the recovery voltage. It is the normal frequency RMS voltage that appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker after final arc extinction. Now it is approximately equal to the system voltage. Now this is the recovery voltage and this equals to the system voltage. The waveform of system voltage and recovery voltage is same. Striking voltage. Restriking voltage is the resultant transient voltage which appears across the circuit breaker pole is only in the transient period, is called the restriking voltage. And what is recovery voltage? Recovery voltage may be defined as the power frequency RMS voltage appear across the circuit breaker pole when transient died out and final extinction of arc has resulted, called the recovery voltage. So you have a clear idea about what is arcing voltage, what is restriking voltage and what is recovery voltage. Next one is rate of restriking voltage. It is the rate of increase of restriking voltage and is abbreviated by RRRV. Usually the voltage is in kV and time in microseconds, so that RRRV is in kV per microseconds. Now consider the opening of a circuit breaker under the fault condition shown in this picture. Now before current interruption, the capacitance C is short circuited by the fault and the short circuit current through the circuit breaker is limited by the inductance L. Consequently, the short circuit current will lag the voltage by 90 degree. In this picture, EA represents the arc voltage and it may be seen that in this condition the entire generator voltage appeared across the inductance L. Now when contacts are opened, the arc finally extinguishes at some point current 0. The generator voltage E is suddenly applied to the inductance and capacitance is in series. Now this combination forms an oscillatory circuit and produce a transient frequency, that is Fn equals to 1 by 2 pi root over Lc, where which appears across the capacitance C. And hence which appears across the capacitance C, hence across the contacts of the circuit breaker. This transient voltage is known as restriking voltage and may reach an instantaneous peak value twice the peak phase neutral voltage, that is 2 em. Now the system losses cause the oscillation to decay fairly rapidly, but the initial overshoot increases the possibility of restriking the arc. Now it is the rate of rise of restriking voltage which decides whether the arc will restrike or not. If RRRV is greater than the rate of rise of dielectric strength between the contacts, the arc will restrike. However, the arc will fail to restrike if RRRV is less than the rate of increase of the dielectric strength between the contacts. So, the RRRV value depends upon recovery voltage and natural frequency of oscillation. Now, for a short circuit occurring near the power station bus bars, capacitance being small, the natural frequency Fn equals to 1 by 2 pi root over Lc will be high. Consequently, the RRRV will attain a large value. Thus, the worst condition for the circuit breaker would be that when fault takes place near the bus bar. That's all from today's class. If you have any problem, please contact with me. My contact details is given on the first slide. Thank you.